welcome to the Game Time Show. Today we have a special treat. We have a special guest, Rob,
Hi, nice to meet you.
and our in-house coach MJ.
Yeah. That's right. Here I am.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
cool. So first, Rob, I need to give you a bit of an intro to you. So can you tell us a bit more about your experiences in the field of fitness?
Yeah, obviously as a kid, um, being athletic, being football fanatic, and then going through university, maintaining that as well, and then taking that further on to personal life and professional life in the police service, for 30 years, doing that as well. Um, and then after retirement, realizing that that's still my passion. So I then got qualified level 3 personal trainer, and now I'm with Pure Gym
Brilliant,
for the past year.
brilliant. So how's your football World Cup going so far?
Agony with England, as always, but that's what you get with being an England supporter. The highs and the lows. The last game was just intense against Mexico. And then seeing the other 7 teams qualify for the quarters was painful too. Some of them should have gone, but they didn't. And if you want to win it, you got to beat the best. So
Fair point. So, Coach MJ, how's your World Cup going so far? It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, World Cup, it has been good, going great, nice games, too many dramas, at the end of the day, controversy, it's too many of them. But apart from that, the football, and what I've been watching, it's quite interesting, quite a good games, quite different skills. It's nice to see, like, that's the beauty of World Cup, different continent, different countries, you know. So you see different people, different, so many good skills. So it's nice to watch it. So myself, football. I started watching the first time I started watching football. I think it was World Cup. I was very
Okay.
young by then. So yeah, is it World Cup 90? No, 2000 and no 98.
98. Okay.
all right, that's recent
Huh?
for me anyway.
Yeah. World Cup '94. I was very young that time. I don't remember much in that. The only thing I remember is Roberto Baggio penalty.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
young, but I was a kid, but I did see that one. I don't know either it's the highlights or it's the game itself, but I remember that penalty. Going to the skies. Yeah, but apart from that, yeah, World Cup '98. I did started to pick up on that because that's the time I started to understand the game and things like that. I was very young still, but
Brilliant.
yeah, after '98, then the other World Cup, the one is it Korea and Japan?
2002. Yes.
Mhm.
That's the time finally I've started to see the teams and know about the places, the countries, and also it started getting interesting. Then yeah,
Brilliant.
then from there the rest is it's history pretty much. I've been
Brilliant.
watching it all along.
So you both have played kind of the old-fashioned football and also the brand new version, the tiki-taka pass. Robin, your experience, because you played as a winger, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. How would you describe modern day football?
Modern day football. There's a lot more technology involved now than ever. Um, when I was a kid, you were lucky to just wear football boots um, with studs.
Oh, okay.
Now there's so many different variety of footwear for a footballer, ranging from basic bare minimum moldeds to blades and customized fronts and you name it. So the technology is completely different. The ball now has a sensor.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved on to almost cricket levels where they have the snickometer
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
inside a ball. When I was a kid, it was a leather skin with a rubber inflatable inside
Yeah.
and laces on the outside to keep it together.
Oh, okay.
No
No
technology. It was
technology.
just a bag of air.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what all we had. That's all we
Mm.
had. There was no um, technology around the ball surface to make it swerve.
Mm-hmm.
There was no contact areas on the foot to make it move
Oh yes.
differently. Um, and this World Cup, they're talking about the ball is reacting weirdly, even scientifically, so that keepers are getting their hands to it, but it's still going through their hands.
Mm.
And nobody knows why yet. But this ball is made differently, probably to increase the goal count. Now, me being sarcastic about it might think that it's the USA
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it, they're used to basketball,
Yes.
where there's a goal or a basket every 24 seconds.
Yeah, it's true, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Valid
So to
point. Yeah.
increase the popularity of soccer,
Hmm.
they need more goals because otherwise the general American public watching the game would get bored and move on to something
And
else
something else.
if there isn't a goal every 25 seconds. Basketball has a shot clock,
Yeah. Yeah.
end to end. And if there isn't a basket, turnover, rapid.
That's a yeah.
So I don't know. That's just the sarcastic kind of opinion that I have with age, maybe. That to increase the popularity of soccer, FIFA have gone with a ball that has increased that
Yeah.
possibility. That if there's a shot on target, then the keeper won't be able to predict the moves,
Yep.
won't be able to get there quick enough. Even if they do, it goes through their hands anyway. I, I don't know. But if you be weird to look at the overall goal count to the previous World Cups and see
Mm-hmm.
exactly what has happened, because I can't remember the last time before the quarterfinals that the Golden Boot winner had
Mm-hmm.
more than 7 goals.
Yeah. That's an interesting fact because it took two World Cups, in fact three, for big R9 to get to those
To get to those
levels,
numbers.
and now Haaland, like how?
Yeah.
It must be something is different from the previous version of the game, isn't it?
Well, is it that the players are better? I know Messi is he's stratospheric. I get that.
Yeah.
Haaland again,
Mm,
they are great players. Kane, again, yeah. He can his goal ratio to touch ratio is immense compared to even the great English players back in the day when they won in '66 to Bobby Moore.
mm-hmm. Even Gary Lineker,
Even to Lineker,
yeah,
yeah, who he's
yeah,
just surpassed.
yeah.
So you're thinking, well, they must be better. Or is it that the game has improved so much that, I don't know. But overall, the whole skill level of everything has increased so much. So you'd think it would all be relative.
Yes.
But no, we haven't got to the quarterfinals yet, and we're already on 7 goals for the Golden Boot.
That's something to look into. It's a valid point.
Yeah, it's true. And it's not only one, one player.
No, there's 3 or 4 in the pot to say, and nobody knows who's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Who's going to win the Golden
Golden
Boot
Boot.
for the tournament?
Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be. It's gonna
And
be
is he going to
the.
be double figures?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like
Which
it.
would be completely unprecedented in a World Cup.
Yeah.
And I know there's more teams now,
Mm-hmm.
so there's more opportunity to score goals with the lesser teams where, like Cape Verde, this is their first World Cup. Fair enough, they didn't concede
Yeah.
that many,
Yeah.
but this is their first. So inexperience would mean that they might concede more.
More goals.
Uzbekistan and some other countries like that. They're obviously in their infancy when it comes to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that the players in those teams have experienced professional football at an elite level and would still be able to reduce the score
Reduce
levels
the
and
score
keep it
levels.
as competitive.
Mm.
And in the main, they have.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say is, yeah, one thing you said about it, either the players gone better. I would say yes.
Mhm.
Players has been much better now, especially the attacking players. I think there's been a revolution in attacking players. Most kids want to be attacking because they were
Yeah.
inspired by this generation. People like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. So that because those people are attacking players,
Mm-hmm.
so those inspire people. Like back in the days, defenders used to be popular among people,
Mm-hmm.
especially Italian defenders, because of the tackles they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, what I mean, people
The
Maldini.
Maldini, Nesta, yeah.
yeah. So nowadays, if you look at it now, there's a lot of good defenders around, but defenders nowadays, they keep swapping
Mm.
so easily. If you look at the top level football, for you to see a defender, stay in one team for for quite a long time, it's not even real.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're broken by injuries, and then and if you got injured, the teams nowadays they don't wait for that long. They just want to move on quick, to replacement.
It's
So
true.
yeah, so that so defenders for you to see like those kind of defenders nowadays
Mm-hmm.
is very rare. Like you said, Maldini, Nesta. Those days we growing up, you hear those names even without even watching the game yet. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You
I
know?
remember those names,
Yeah,
yes.
but now attacking is more like that.
Mm.
You everybody want to be an attacker. So if you look at this World Cup, you can every country had every country had a good, excellent attack. Even the countries that were underdogs, not only underdogs, but their level of ranking in FIFA ranking is quite low.
Mm.
If you look at that, if you watch their games, you find out that they've got some really, really good players in it. Although, you look at Kevadi, for example,
Mm.
it's their first time, yeah? But look at their attacking formation. Even the one, sometimes they'll bring somebody from the bench. They will come, they will perform,
Mm.
crazy things.
Well, I think Cape Verde have scored the best goal of the tournament so
Exactly.
far.
Yeah.
Sidney
Yeah,
Cabral
absolutely.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that ball where he pushed it away from and in the top corner, unplayable.
So you see that one. Same apply to Egypt. They bring somebody
Yeah, yeah.
like that guy. I've never even seen that guy ever. That was the first time I've seen.
Zico.
No, not Zico. Hassan.
Hassan,
People
yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
Zico because he
I've
scored.
seen him in the African nations, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, but what Hassan was doing, that's crazy.
Mm.
Taking on, from he's a winger,
Yes.
fullback.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was taking on, Argentinian players like he's the Messi in that pitch, pretty much,
Yeah, I love how they played with no fear, which is
Yeah.
good. It's good.
No fear at all, So, the World Cup has, teach us so many things. Why in the World Cup?
Yeah.
When you say it can definitely be a possibility in it. Like the ball looks different.
Mm.
It's totally different. The ball. Even you remember like the ball you get before that orange ball.
Yeah.
All right. That ball, if you playing with it, you can tell that's not a normal
We've been
ball.
practicing with different balls just to see which one works better.
And the ridges, the texture as well, it catches the air differently
Yeah.
and rotates differently. So,
Yep.
and you can tell in the sound when you make contact with the ball in your foot, and it sounds different.
It sounds different.
Yeah.
What you said. That's why I was telling you already. Champions League ball that we lost. That was pretty much the best ball.
Yes.
And the Premier League one also. But we've not used that one. But I know that it's a good ball by looking at it.
Which leads us to the point you mentioned about the ball, from your fitness and training fields perspectives. How would you describe the difference between the modern ball and the previous one? Let's say go back to 2006 when technology was kind of infused into football, but it wasn't as crazy like we have it these days.
Yeah. Ball technology has over the last 20 years, as like you say, 2006 has gone. Yeah, the ridges on the balls, they're making them so it's internally stitched. Even the valve makes a difference. So when you see a player placing the ball with such precision, you're wondering what, to an untrained eye, somebody who hasn't played football, you're thinking, what are they doing so long trying to circle the ball and find? Because when you're playing with a ball, you know the feel, how much air is in it, the pressure,
Yeah.
The shape of it. You can tell oddities in where you place the ball, where you know that it's going to create more of a swerve in the air. So you're thinking about all of that as you're placing it. And the knuckleball was always back in the day. Oh, it's about 10 years ago. The knuckleball has been around. You hit through the valve, the biomechanics of and the science behind hitting inside of a valve. It absorbs that inertia first. in the valve because it's a weak point of the surface of the ball. So it absorbs that first, and the ball starts slow. As soon as there's that retraction of the valve, the ball shape changes.
Mm-hmm.
So the air moves differently around it. And that's what causes the knuckleball effect.
Ah.
So you have to hit into the valve, depress that valve, change the shape of the ball. And as the ball's coming out in flight, then the ball dynamics has gone.
Just pretty much like a spaceship when it
Yeah.
goes through the atmosphere.
So obviously, the science, laws of science, and inertia, and Newton's laws of principles, they all take effect inside that ball, purely because of how it struck, how hard it struck, where it struck, at what angle, the rotation, symmetry of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mechanics goes into balls now, whereas, like I said before, it was just leather and basically an inner tube. And
Yeah.
you couldn't depress the ball, whether you found the valve or you found the laces, you couldn't depress the ball. It was that hard.
Yeah, it was a solid chunk,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So now players, when they place the ball, they're looking for those parts of the
Yeah.
ball to hit to make those oddities so that it's going to confuse the keeper.
Yeah.
So that it's going to aid their curl, or it's going to fly further away from the keeper to give that effect of the deceit.
And then it dips in. Which leads us to this second question. Yes, the technology has gone in a lot into the field of sports sciences, but then at the same time, the biomechanics and the human performance perspectives has also infused itself into full-on technology-based universe. It's like a multiverse, isn't it?
Mm.
So how would you describe the way the players are built as compared to the players were built back in the days?
Again, when a player develops their muscles, they develop it from repeating an action. Yeah, you can train some of it in the gym, but the majority of it has to be physically kicking that ball. And they develop those muscles purely just to strike that ball harder, crisper, cleaner, either more true or not, to cause a swerve. And when you work on the musculature of the football player, they are mostly quad based. Front of the leg and the extension of the knee and the extension of the ankle, and then the rest of the body comes into it with the rotation, the propulsion off the ankle, that's standing foot, and then the whip across the ball to then throw your whole momentum to transfer the energy into that ball to then score. So they have simulators, balls, which will measure the flight, measure your pressure, measure your pressure on your standing foot, measure the pressure you're putting through the, and they'll measure that. They can tell how much force you're gonna put into the ball and how far it's gonna travel. So you can train that. If you can see the metrics, then you can work on the metrics. So yes, back in the day, we'd say, yeah, if you want a stronger kick, you've got to do leg extensions.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to work on your squat. You've got to work on the extension of your hip. You've got to work on your abs because you're going to rotate. So we work on all of that. And if I was a professional coach, training, strength and conditioning training a player to be able to strike the ball harder, crisper, away from the technique, those muscles you would have to focus on. But you can measure them these days far better. Electrodes on the leg, and you can measure the force output. So you can tell a player on a screen, okay, you're not having as much rotation. Ideally, you should be rotating there. You should be standing there. You should be putting your foot there. We never had any of that back in the day. So is a player better than now? Well, yeah, because they've got those metrics to rely on.
Yeah, because if you look at Ronaldo R9, because you grew up watching the old-fashioned players who had just flair and party, and we were talking off camera, the Brazilian culture of bringing flair into it, creativity. they were not focused on the dynamics and the physics of the game, but they somehow knew naturally how to utilize their skills.
Yeah, that's that's like because they grow up doing it. You know, those Brazilian team players, most of them, if they, you know their stories. You know, they normally came out of, they grew up in in the favelas, in the street, in the slums. So what they have is the ball they have to put their energy into. So pretty much they sleep with that ball. They pretty much, it's not only their food, but it's everything to them. You know, they say this like growing up, they wanna their dream is to be successful footballers. That's the only way that can take them out of that situation they in. So, you know, I've seen some Brazilian kids, their documentaries. Some of them went on and become pros. So, like this guy, is it Lucas Moura? He used to play for Tottenham. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his documentary. Pretty much, he's from the slum. You know, when he was young, that was his dream. He didn't go to school, do nothing, just take the ball and keep playing, practicing. As you said, most football, all of these gym and things like that. The most important as a footballer, you have to play the ball. You have to keep doing it. So that's where you get your talent from. It's the same thing of African football. That's why African football is gonna go up because the kids, most of those kids, they're the same. They grow up either from the village, live in the beach side, take the ball. That's what they think they have. Because imagine like going to school, only you already knew you're gonna come out from that school without you're not gonna have a job. You already knows that. So what was the point wasting your time? So once you got the skills already, so these players, it's wise decision. So in fact, if you can encourage, it's just now, football is advancing. Play, a lot of academies. But when I was growing up back in the days in Gambia, we don't have we don't have any academy around. I didn't see any. Yeah,
Oh wow, okay.
yeah. In fact, the academy there now, I contributed in the build up of that academy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that what makes me a coach because that's how I started my coaching. I was still playing football, but also I look at it like there's a lot of kids. They're good players. So I created a team, and then the opportunity was there for them to test themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, what I mean. I keep pushing them. So that's how it is. So Brazilians nowadays, that's why Brazil is not gonna they're not doing great as before because before they were hungry, but that hunger is not there anymore. Now they get the chance easily because they've got the facilities now. Before they don't, you know. The people we know as Brazilians, if you talk about Brazil, my mind goes to them people. No, no, not these new ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No, you're right. And it shows on the pitch. And that's
exactly.
why they're not here anymore.
Performance,
That's why they're not in the
discipline.
top 8.
Yeah, discipline, performance. Those Brazilians we know. You remember 2006 World Cup, Germany versus Brazil.
Yeah,
You
what a
can tell
team.
the Brazilian team they were in for business. Even France '98, they lost that to France, but they deserve to win it as well.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, had his chances. I watched it. I was very young, but I remember, France goalkeeper Bartes. He had a. If, if the goalkeeper came out of the best player in the match, that means that means the other opponent deserve respect.
And I think that's why they brought Neymar along.
Mhm.
He's like the last proponent of Brazilian style flair. Since Ronaldinho, there hasn't really been the same sort of flair.
Exactly.
And I'm not negating what Vinny Jr. has done. Vinny Jr. is a great player, and he does have that flair, but it's a European
predictable.
flair. Yeah,
Vinny,
he's you say he's predictable,
Yeah.
but a lot of people can't stop him if he's not predictable.
Exactly.
They'll be able to stop him.
he's a good
But
player.
he's a great player, but he
Yeah.
hasn't got that Brazilian flair that we know of old because it's been adapted by European football styles. He's played most of his football career with Real
Yeah.
Madrid.
Yep. So it's more European.
They're in Europe.
He's more European, so his styles exactly. So that's why if you look at him, and look at the other the ones we are talking about, Rivaldo's, those Cafu. You look at those people who are in next level in their teams. In fact, they don't complain. I remember there was a game Ronaldo was playing against AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Cafu and Ronaldo. Ronaldo used to play. He's a winger that
Yeah.
them days before. He changed his position. Him and Cafu were battling it out. That game. But Ronaldo knows that he's dealing with somebody here who is experienced and even more disciplined than him.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that started to get into Ronaldo a little bit. But what Cafu does, he laughed. That was it. He smiled.
Yeah.
Knowing that you are still young, you are coming up. Ronaldo, I know that he that was a lesson for him. So him growing up, I think Ronaldo learned a lot of things from a lot of those experienced great players. Him growing up, among them. So that defined his career, because he's seen it all. So that's why he's playing all the way to this level. So discipline. Sometimes it's not even sometimes. You can learn it from people. We've talked about this the other day.
Yes.
You know.
True. Yeah.
So don't not that's because he's not saying it. In fact, he talk about this. Ronaldo, he's not shy away from talking about his what he does.
Mm-hmm. So, which brings us to this final section, which I'm going to ask you both. So, Rob first. Moving forward, now we are in the knockout stages. The way we discussed about the way technology has infused itself into the game, and now to me it looks like a FIFA football World Cup game rather than a real people playing a sport. Moving forward, now we're in this crunch stage of the event. Flair, creativity versus full on mathematical universe. What would you think would be the tactics for the coaches? Let's start with England.
Well, England are lacking in flair. Full stop.
Okay, how would you fix that?
It can't be fixed for this World Cup. Can't be fixed for this World Cup. We have a few players like Saka, although he's injured, who have that creativity that can. One player that didn't go, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's got flair to drop a ball wherever he wants on the pitch. We didn't bring him. Cole Palmer, unpredictable in midfield, really attacking, didn't go. Eza, he's there, hasn't been given a chance. We're not looking for flair. We aren't. We're looking for a team that can grind out a result, and we saw that against Mexico. Even with 10 men for 35 minutes, we still managed to get the result.
It was a
And
battle.
and that is German football. Even though the German team has gone, we have a German manager who has obviously made his craft there. And he knows how to win a game. And he knows what substitutions to make to win that game. And that's what's kept us in this game, in the tournament so far. On top of that, there is obviously Bellingham is immense and has been. Yeah, for me, he's the best midfielder in the world at the minute. And probably for the past 2 seasons, even though this season for Real Madrid, he's not performed at his best. But for me, he had the passion of a he had the passion of an Argentinian and the flair of a Brazilian, but the determination of a raw European player.
Wow.
That's what made him do what he did against Mexico in Maracanã with 85,000 Mexicans booing every time he touched the ball.
Yeah, that takes a lot of courage.
So that's what's got us through. Now the Argentinians, they train with their shirt, the Argentinian shirt, underneath, as close to as they put the badge as close as they can to their heart. Passion. That's what's got them through. Yes, Messi's there, but passion has got them through. When the opposition was still Egypt, was still saying, "Oh, it's a penalty." Martinez, Fernandez ran up there, Nobody was anywhere near them. Passion. Yes, it was a great ball. Yes, it was a fantastic header. But sheer passion got them through it. Sheer passion over Egypt. France, I don't feel that they've got a lot of prima donnas in that team, and I think an individual that can turn the game on its head, you always got to give them that fighting chance. As a team, they're not the best team in the tournament.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I don't feel so. I don't know if you you got thoughts on that. As a team, they're not the best team in the tournament. The best team in the tournament. It's weird to say, but I think England.
Because they're playing as a unit. Okay. That makes sense. Your take
Well, on what?
on the final stages, like what's gonna be the X factor?
Is it flair? Is it passion? Is it skill?
Yeah.
Is it going to be team or is it going to be luck?
Luck is always part of it, but also controversy is gonna be part of it. I know some teams gonna do. It's a difficult stage. Some teams will get eliminated. They're not gonna be happy, with the results.
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna see that, either today or tomorrow. So there is a lot of things to unpack still. France is still my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to that. I understand. What you're trying to say. You know, individual brilliant. I know it's part of it because they've. But the thing is that it's not only France. They're so good in even in the bench. They are subs. You can rely on them.
Yeah, so you're putting it down to skill, individual skill.
It's not all about. So yeah. So pretty much you bring in this is crazy. I've never seen this before. A team
Yeah.
so good. So many players, so many good players. So skills is part of it. But bringing all of these skills together, it creates something different, something that's unstoppable, pretty much. You know, England. I know you're trying. England, yeah, England could have been good. I always say this: if England is good, if they play up to their standard before, they also got the players.
Mm-hmm.
But creativity wise, England is not there yet. It's not up to the forefront of it. They've got Saka, which Saka is not. It's not that fit. Madueke is good, but Saka is better than him, in my opinion.
I'd agree.
Yeah. All right. So what about the other side? If England, if you have to talk about somebody, I think Bellingham. Yeah, for him is unquestionable. He's a superstar. Kane is a striker. He can't. I mean, so Kane is pretty much just like any other striker. You only notice him in the pitch if he score. If he doesn't score, you barely even see Kane. But Bellingham, he's everywhere in the pitch. He's in defense. In that England game, Mexico could have even scored. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it
Of
wasn't for
course.
Bellingham,
Yeah, the post. Yeah, if it wasn't for Bellingham
exactly.
on that line, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can for him definitely he is the man for me, 100%. But
Okay.
apart from that, you've got the other players. So bringing them together, if they play together as a team, I'm sure they can produce something very special. They don't need to have to go to defensive mindset. As you said, England is playing German football, which I totally agree. They just want to win. It's about if we don't score, you're not gonna score us. Pretty much that's how it's like at the minute. Like they don't want to commit to the game. They come to the game and then this is it. Like what France do. France, apart from what Paraguay did, because that's what Paraguay did to France. Paraguay, they were very aggressive in that game. I know that's the only thing they can do because they have no chance against France. So they have to go in that kind of vibe, violence mode. Because that's what I would say.
You have to play to your strength.
Huh?
Yeah.
Play to your strength.
Yeah.
If that means playing dirty.
Exactly.
And they know that the French team are full of highly skilled prima donnas who are waiting for the referee to save them from a little push or a little kick or a little touch because they are that tricky that they're waiting for the referee to save them. give them a free kick, and then they can put it in the top corner.
In the top corner.
Whereas Paraguayans were like, no, I don't. I want that ball, and you're not going to get it. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you've got it, I'm going to do whatever I can to get it off you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's the mentality. That's the difference in mentality,
Yeah,
and that's why they were so tough a team to beat.
that's right.
So that's the strategy moving forward for smaller teams from now onwards. If you were the coach, what would you do?
Mm.
If you were the coach of, let's say, pick up a team, let's say, for example, England, what would you do?
Against France,
Paraguay.
against Paraguay.
Paraguay.
Well, we showed what we can't do when
Yeah.
we played both Ghana and we can't match that. And we would, I say we England would probably have lost that game against Paraguay. English football is too polite.
Mhm.
They don't look for fouls. They don't draw defenders on to win a foul. They don't play dirty off the ball. They don't play street football. They just play the ball.
Yeah,
But you can't in this World Cup play when you're playing against teams like that. You have to play off the ball too, as aggressively as you do
yeah,
on the ball.
Yeah.
And I think England have been far too nice,
Yeah.
far too nice. Whereas I think if Kane, during that penalty incident,
Mhm.
if he would have gone in with his shoulder to take that player out rather than to kick the ball, which is what I mean, play the game, not the
Yeah,
ball.
Not the ball, yeah.
If he would have gone in with his shoulder, it would not have been given as a penalty to knock that player out.
Yeah.
But you go in with a foot to play the ball, they are tricky to get their foot in front of yours,
yeah.
and the referee will always, 9 times out of 10, blow for a foul, in the box or not.
Yeah.
If you were to say it's a body check,
Yep.
that's just football.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I mean about being polite. He's
Mm.
just playing the ball, not thinking that he's going to be streetwise.
Mm.
Now, if Kane would have gone,
Yep.
body checked him, push him off the ball bounces, then he deals with it, or not, because there was about, 6 players in
6
front of
players
that
in
ball
there, yeah.
before he could even score. Now, at no point did that player have possession of the ball to even manufacture an attempt at goal. But yet it's given as a penalty purely because of
The
foot
studs,
contact.
because he went
Yeah.
with the studs up.
Yeah, but if he was to go in with
The shoulder.
street football,
Yeah.
Mm.
50-50, referee might look at it as
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
and even on VAR, it wouldn't be clear. It would be like, okay,
It's a body check.
it's just a body
But
check.
VAR is unpredictable.
Of course, VAR is unpredictable, but there's a higher percentage of it given as a free kick if you use your foot,
Yeah.
or if there's foot contact,
Yeah.
rather than if it's.
Body check.
How many times have you seen this World Cup where they've just gone
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. They were
yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
50-50, yeah.
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 and Mexico, Paraguay, Ghana, Ivory Coast have all played to that.
Mhm.
They don't go in with the foot. Tackling with the foot is a long gone art. Now we need to be
No, it's
body
true,
check. We
because
need to be body checking.
Yeah, cameras everywhere. You know, you can't, even a small little thing. That's
Yeah.
why I don't understand VAR. How can they miss some of them? They will spot some of them,
Mhm.
but they will miss some of them.
Hmm.
So that's why I don't understand. Because, even somebody click, somebody foot on, or somebody's, step on somebody's toes on the,
Hmm.
anywhere, VAR can spot it. Like
Yeah.
the Argentina against Egypt.
Yes.
So VAR spot when Martinez went down.
Yeah.
Fine, I saw it. The guy, he stepped on his foot, but his toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's football, I mean, they have to step on each other's toes. His
Yeah.
body contact has to be there. That cannot be even. I disagree. That's a foul. I know VAR went for it. They ruled Egypt goals out.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But yeah, for me,
Of course.
VAR got it wrong there.
Completely wrong.
Yeah.
But that's the conversation for the next episode, the VAR.
Yeah. Oh, where do we start with VAR?
Yeah.
Is it good? Should it be in the game? Should it not? I don't know. That's a whole, like you say, a whole other conversation.
We'll book you again.
Whole other conversation.
Let's do
But
this. It's been a pleasure.
no, it has.
Yeah, I love the conversation. So we wrap it up for this episode
Mhm.
and stay tuned for the next one.
Excellent. Speak soon.